One of the things I think really that drives people who are anti-Israel. I mean, look, I think it's anti-Semitism to a great degree, but I understand why people will be reluctant to hear that. But I think because I think it's a lack of understanding what anti-Semitism actually is. I think it's look. I've said many times, right? The number one form of anti-Semitism throughout time is libel. Say, oh, these Jews do terrible things. It's okay to do terrible things to them. Right? That's 100%. It is like, well, of course October 2nd happened because of 75 years of occupation. It didn't happen. I'm sorry, mate. The Nakba didn't happen. The Nakba is the claim of Palestinian identity. That the evil, bloodthirsty Jew came in and raped and murdered them out of existence and herded them into cages and evilly occupied them ever since with their white nationalistness. Right? That's really what they believe, right? Didn't happen. We were a vastly inferior force that somehow miraculously survived, right? That's what happened, mate, right? That's what went down. But it's so much more. So one thing, they believe we are white colonists, right? And so this video came out, and I was like, this is such a good illustration of what it's genuinely like in Israel. Right, I was really quite impressed. Let me pull this up. Doink.
I am a.
You want me to say what? I'm a white colonizer.
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 We are white colonizer.
This is genuinely the racial makeup. I mean, to proportion, I think, in Israel. Right, we have a lot of black population from about 2 generations ago. There was a airlift of Ethiopian Jews. Man, the Ethiopian Jews and the Russian Jews, man, they came over at the same time. They did not like each other. Mate, they did not like each other. Right. Also, the Ethiopian Jews, they had no concept of ownership of shit. Like, they were just like. The kids in my school would just take my kid's bike and ride it around when he wasn't using it. I'm like, but it's my bike. He's like, yeah, but you aren't using it. What's your problem? It's like, and it was a cultural thing, right? It was really genuinely a cultural. I think it's kind of smoothed out now. It's like 20 years later, right? I think everyone's got used to each other. But no, this is 100% the racial makeup that I see in Israel.
I am a white colonizer.
I am a white colonizer.
I'm a white colonizer.
I am a white colonizer.
I am a white.
A white. A white. A white.
A white.
A white. A white. A white.
White.
A white.
I'm a white.
I'm a white colonizer.
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 Colonialist. Colonialist, no.
I'm a white colonizer.
I am a white colonizer.
We are a white colonizers.
Yeah, a lot about Israel's 9.2 million citizens, more than 2/3 of people of color. You're right. And it's the only place that's legal to be gay. I mean, literally, don't you pinkwash it or murder. But we're not. We're just saying, literally, it's the only place. There's so much bullshit. Man, you know what? I just saw somebody put out a... what's this bit? Wait. They come to the conscious as... Yemen, they kicked us out there. Iran, they kicked us out. Iraq, Libya, Tunisia, Algeria, Egypt, Ethiopia. Well, we got those back. We airlifted them. But a bunch of other places, we have those populations because they kicked us out, right? So, let's not sugarcoat it, darling. I am not a white colonial. Well, I actually am. Embarrassingly enough. Hi, I'm here to colonize. And I'm white. Yeah, white is a white loaf. But really, I hope that gets me. What's this video? Let's have a look. Oh, there's that thing I really want to get to. That's long, though. But it's brilliant. I think we need to.
Gaza in 2005, meaning in 2005 there was no Jew alive or dead in Gaza. They even took the graves with them. It was
so that's when I arrived in Israel. It's a huge still. We didn't get it at all. Right, it tore the country apart. Right, that's absolutely 100% what went down.
Ethnic cleansing of the Jews. Thousands of families forcefully uprooted from Gaza. And it was a test case for self-governing Gaza. Here, Gaza, we give you the keys to the greenhouses. We're leaving everything.
The music's a bit, hyperbolic, darling.
You're free, become a state. And the sentiment in Israel during that time, I remember it because I was 15 back then, was a lot of hope that now Gaza is going to become the Singapore of the Middle East. And we were talking about the high-rises buildings that you saw that Gaza has. But what actually happened is that Hamas burned all the greenhouses, not giving the Palestinians the...
It's just crazy, right? It really is. They were given these huge businesses. And they just burn it to the ground out of spite, out of hatred. All right? And then they're like, well, can't you just meet them halfway? What? They want us all dead. So that's the thing. We're talking about Netanyahu, and they keep saying how absolutely hated he is in Israel. So I was talking, because I don't really know Israeli politics that well. I talked to my family to find out. And so I was like, I can't be that hated. I thought people were kind of behind him with this. He says, no, everyone hates him, right? Everyone hates him now. The people who hate him think he went too hard. The people who hate him think he went too soft. The people who says he blames him for October 7th. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, like, all these things are valid criticism. Don't get me wrong. I just don't go in for like the bloodthirsty warmonger image that he's got. I just think he's successfully defended us, right? So, you got my, I think he's done a fair job with that, frankly. So I said, so who would do better, right? So who'd you say? And nobody had any idea. I'm like, well, that's the problem. Like, honestly, I would like to see Trump do like a one-term, like, just because, what a great story that would be, right? And like, clean house and then get out of politics and leave it for a younger generation. So they say, Vivek, it's yours, kid. What's that Coke commercial, right? Where the football player comes out and he's like all wiped out, and the kid goes, here's a Coke, sir. And he drinks a Coke, a Coke and a smile, and then he takes his jersey off and throws it to the kid. Geez, thanks, sir. Anyway, back to this.
Opportunity of economic prosperity. And then they got elected a few months later in democratic elections to become the sovereign government of Gaza. And once they got elected, they killed everyone who didn't agree with them.
So let me give you a bit of a Israel update, right? A bit of an Israel update. So here's a word, like the feeling on the ground. That like Hamas are basically done. There's like they're now like they're down to their last stronghold in Rafah, right? And it's like their last 3 battalions apparently. And they're trying to get all the Milumimniks. Now with Milumimniks, like everything's screwed up, beyond screwed up, right? Milumimniks, that's reservists. That's like any time from the time you leave the army to the age of 40, you could be called up to fight. And a lot of people, like my son's older, are all people like called up to fight, right? You drop everything and you go and defend your country, because otherwise you're all going to get killed, right? So they've been using them for a long time. They've been trying to let them all go home, right, and get life back to normal for them, and they're like all been really screwed over because colleges have started without them, which has been shitty, and they're not getting paid like they should. They're supposed to be getting paid from the government, or their work is supposed to be being paid by the government. The government, I don't think, has enough money. They haven't been making the payments. People are losing their jobs. It's screwed up. But basically what's really going down is this, that they're trying to give everybody like 2 weeks or a month off before Lebanon starts, right? Assuming we got that long. We got till the weather gets better. But that's really what's going on. That's why they want to wrap up Gaza ASAP. Anyway, in this disinformation war, we have one squeaky piece of shit that is perhaps one of the biggest pieces of shit I've ever come across. I don't think he's pig shit ignorant. I think he's willfully lying to his audience. Oh no, I don't know though. Although maybe he is, he's just pig shit ignorant. It could be, right? It could certainly be. Let's see what I got over here. Pull up. Oh yeah, we got so much of this shit. Yeah, this is awesome. So let's start off with Owen Jones made a heartfelt video the other day. Oh, as he does with his social conscience, because he's such a good person, Owen Jones. Such a good person. There we go.
It didn't take long for this particular claim to fall apart.
It takes you about 5 minutes before he gets up to how he says it falls apart, but it did. But it didn't. Look at this! It's so funny.
Now, I realise there are so many horrors that should compete for our attention, our scrutiny, and indeed our fury since 7th of October. But
I mean, mostly you, right? You're one of the biggest horrors I can possibly think of, you anti-Semitic piece of shit. Now, why do I say he's anti-Semitic? Well, because he's saying it, and he has to know he's lying his ass off, right? He has to know. I mean, or maybe he's just that stupid. I mean, look, he looks pretty stupid.
This particular claim itself has potentially genocidal implications.
Oh, we're not just doing one genocide. We've got a whole bunch of them now. They come in 6-packs. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because, look, I'm going to genocide this cup of coffee right now. Oh, genocide in the coffee. Now I'm going to genocide a bit of water, right? Weirdly enough, Hamas are flying into Israel, raping and murdering men, women, and children, butchering them, cooking them in ovens, like shooting babies. That's not genocide. That's resistance. That's legitimate resistance. After 75 years of occupation. What, you mean those 75 years of Jew hatred where we kept saying, hey, can we live in peace? And the Arabs said, fuck you, Jew. Fuck you. We're not going to live in peace with you fucking Jew. Fuck you, Jew. Right? You mean that? Little piece of shit, Owen Jones.
In fact, directly implicating our own governments. I'm referring to Israel's attack on UNRWA. That's the UN agency charged with the welfare of Palestinian refugees.
Because that's all they care about, the welfare of Palestinians. UNRWA. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, Owen Jones. Because why we're watching this is because this morning something fucking hilarious happened.
Refugees and the main humanitarian agency in Gaza itself in the midst of what is a grave humanitarian catastrophe. By some weird total coincidence, it just so happened to be convenient timing. On the same day, the International Criminal Court, that is...
On the same day, the International Criminal Court did not order us to cease fire and say we were Israel performing a genocide. But the others said, you got to try hard not to perform a genocide, right? Not that you are. They said, then you're not performing a genocide. There's no evidence whatsoever that you're performing a genocide. No, literally there isn't. No, we can't. There's a claim, but no evidence whatsoever that you're performing. But you got to avoid performing a genocide. That's what they said. Let's hear it from you, Mr. Jones.
Is the UN court, and indeed the world's highest court, placed Israel on trial for genocide, made it clear there was a plausible case for genocide, and issued a series of legally binding orders on Israel to obey to prevent genocide.
Right, exactly. We mean all the things we were doing anyway, right? I don't even know where to start. Let me backtrack that a little bit. Which one do I grab on?
Suddenly, there was this expose.
No, it's not suddenly. We've been... Okay, here's the truth. UNRWA and Hamas are one and the same. Right? They have been one and the same for a long, long time, right? A long, long time. Here's some stats for you, okay? None of which he in any way refutes during this video. It's incredible. Like, he absolutely doesn't refute anything. UNRWA in the numbers. 12 plus UNRWA employees participated in the October the 7th Hamas massacre. As in, they literally raped and murdered people for being Jews. Right? That happened, right? 1,200 plus UNRWA employees are members of Hamas and Islamic Jihad. 3,000 plus UNRWA teachers were members of a Telegram group that riddled with violent anti-Semitism and glorification of terror. Approximately 6,000 UNRWA employees, half of the organization workforce in Gaza, have close family members who are active in Hamas and Islamic Jihad. So no evidence whatsoever, but we're going to see some more of this evidence that doesn't exist any minute. Oh, Owen, yes, we are.
Israel, several members of UNRWA staff were directly involved in the 7th of October attacks. They then went on to claim a significant portion of UNRWA staff were Hamas or Islamic Jihad members. Now, from the...
One second. 6,000 UNRWA employees, half of the organization workforce, have close family members who are active in Hamas and Islamic Jihad. Yeah, that's the number, right? That's the number what they're saying. Do you have anything to refute that? Anything at all, Owen? You go first. Go ahead.
Completely absurd, of course. The claim was that around...
It's completely absurd. Could you just give me, just for a skeptic, for devil's advocate, could you perhaps give me anything, you refute it in any way?
0.04% of UNRWA's 30,000 overall workforce.
Oh, wait a minute. So you just agreed they did have people in the October 7th attack. So you just said they did, right? But it's such a small number. Now, how do you think that happened, right? How do you think that happened? That UNRWA had people involved in the October 7th attack, right? How did that happen? Well, this is what it's like. This is what you learn in an UNRWA school, which we've been telling you for years, right? Yeah, UNRWA teacher. The message has been delivered. You have achieved your best. You'll break the nose of the enemy. Revive the hope of the nation. May Allah accept your obedience. May Allah rise you up. Yeah, this is this seems a bit pro-Hamasi to me. What do you think, darling? Do you think there's a bit pro-Hamasi, Owen? This is an isolated incident. Oh no, yeah, this must be isolated. What's this? We have to make war to prove that we are stronger than the Jews. Firstly, you're not, and secondly, Owen, is this okay, mate? This looks a bit like waifism. I know you're so anti-wafist. Do you think this is the waifism? What do you think, Owen? You tell me. I just see legitimate resistance. People love Palestine and they're ready to die for Palestine. Well, we all could just not die and live together in peace. All you got to do is not try and kill me because I'm a Jew. Fuck you, Jew. I mean, literally, how many times have I said, can we live together in peace? How about two-state solution? Fuck you, Jew. Fuck you, Jew. Over and over again. Right? Oh, it's like fucking Jews' fault. I mean, Owen Jones cannot be ignorant to the fact that UNRWA and Hamas are one and the same. But let's get going a little bit further. I want to fight against them, the Jews, and defeat them in war. Yeah, well, again, why don't we live together? How about that? At school, they teach us the Al-Aqsa and all of Palestine is ours. That's the Dome on the Rock, which is the thing, which is this is all about. The Jews lie and say that their temple is under Al-Aqsa Mosque. Well, it is, just historically accurately. It was never there. I mean, so again, Owen, let's go back to you, Owen. Let's hear what more you got to say.
On the 7th of October. Now, if you're going to take action against agencies or services in which 0.04% of staff members are implicated in various crimes, then that means taking...
Well, one thing, Owen, mate, Owen. I think if you found 0.04% of evil Israeli settlers acting poorly, you would say they're all like that because you're a Jew-hating cunt, aren't you? Aren't you a Jew-hating cunt? I bet you are. Who's a Jew-hating cunt? Who's a little Jew-hating cunt? Oh, it's Owen Jones.
Action against every single agency or service on the face of the earth. So what happened next? 14 governments, led by the United States and including Britain, suddenly cancelled their funding for UNRWA. Not just UNRWA in Gaza, because UNRWA also works in the West Bank, Jordan, Syria, and Lebanon. In total.
So wait. I think at this point, I think it's fair that we bring in this little bit of snippet, right? Something that you maybe should be aware of came out today.
אז אנחנו נכנסים עכשיו
So they're renting a big tunnel to the technological. You're going to see a major Hamas base underneath UNRWA.
המנהרה הגדולה הזאת, המנהרה הטכנולוגית, חלק מהתשתית שנשארה כאן, השרתים, ה-DVRים.
אנחנו כרגע נמצאים בליבת הסוד, לשמה הגענו.
We are under the central building of UNRWA, right? And they didn't know about it.
תחת הבניין המרכזי של אונר"א. כאן נמצאים השרתים
These are Hamas intelligence servers.
מודיעיניים של החמאס.
Hamas is fucked beyond the fuck, mate. Totally fucked.
אנחנו נמצאים עכשיו במטה הראשי.
Friends, now we're at the headquarters of, and I can understand the Hebrew. He's actually saying this of UNRWA. He hasn't said UNRWA yet.
של יו"ר אונר"א. מכאן הכל התנהל, יש פה את כל המשרדים.
Everything is managed here, all the UN, Owen, all the UN agents.
של כל סוכנויות האו"ם שאמורות לתת סיוע הומניטרי.
We can see the cables here.
יכולים לראות פה את כל הכבלים שהיו מחוברים פה לארון תקשורת, שהוציאו אותה החוצה. מי מנתק דבר כזה? רק מי שיש לו מה להסתיר. ויש פה כבלים שאתם יכולים לראות שיורדים כלפי מה.
And you can see they go down to the tunnel system, right?
בתוך התת קרקע, מנותקים, לא השאירו פה שום דבר מחובר כמעט שאפשר, כל מה שהם הספיקו לחטוף.
Okay, and we're trying to say that UNRWA and Hamas are go back to you, Owen. Let's hear a bit more from you.
$440 million worth of funding suddenly gone, strangling this crucial agency.
Why are you okay with this agency being usurped by Hamas, by Jew? Because you don't like Jews, isn't it? That's why.
Now, politically speaking, this sudden expose achieved three important things. First of all, it took the ICJ ruling, in which Israel was placed on trial for genocide, off the headlines.
Well, no. Actually, the ICJ took it off the headlines by saying, "Oh, you guys totally not doing genocide. That's not happening. You've got to be super careful not to do genocide. And here, don't do genocidal things." And we're like, "No problem," because here's the thing. Little cunts like Owen Jones. No, I'm sure he must know this. That like before any military action is taken, including getting permission to open fire, it has to go through a team of bloody lawyers. Everything goes through a team of lawyers. And so we can prove up, backwards and forwards, who shot which bullet.
Secondly, it meant it was now the United Nations in the dock rather than the United Nations putting...
I wonder why. I wonder fucking why. It is the United Nations in the dock because they're in bed with Hamas, right? They are completely in bed with Hamas. Again, let's just look at them lying their asses off about that, right? I think that we should do that. Doink.
Concerns with regards to the number of trucks that are going in to Gaza. And on Saturday, the IDF said that it found dozens of rockets hidden under boxes marked with UNRWA's insignia.
This was from a couple of weeks ago. It's got crazy since then.
Northern Gaza. Another issue I'd like to raise with you is an Israeli reporter over the weekend from Channel 13 cited one of the abductees who had returned back to Israel and said that he was held by an UNRWA teacher.
Oh, yes. It's not an allegation. It's witness testimony, baby.
A father of 10, this teacher locked the victim away, barely provided food, and neglected medical needs. UNRWA responded to this post and said, quote, making serious allegations in the public domain unsupported by any evidence or verifiable facts and support thereof may amount to misinformation. That reporter then responded and said, that's not an allegation, that's survivor's testimony. How is UNRWA investigating or responding to...
Yeah, let's get some answers from you, you cunt. Let's hear from you.
These two quite damning allegations.
So what I can speak to is our aid. Essentially, the aid that UNRWA is bringing in goes directly into the hands of the refugee. So on any given day...
Oh, wait. Let me get this straight. You didn't know there was an UNRWA base underneath your central building, and I'm supposed to have in any way, any confidence that you could in any way, shape or form manage giving aid without supporting Hamas, right? UNRWA had said it was in the dark about Hamas center under Gaza HQ, Israel. You knew, right? You knew. I mean, these pictures are so damning, right? So you see how far down they got to tunnel down to find the bloody door, get to the doors, right? This is this is on Twitter now. It's basically just showing where the tunnels are, how they find them, how they get from each one. No, we didn't know anything about it. Honest, mate, not a thing. UNRWA did not know what is under the headquarters. Then you schmucks, Philip Lazzarini. UNRWA is made aware of reports through media regarding tunnels under UNRWA headquarters in Gaza. Excuse me, mate. Excuse me. Oh, you knew, says Chijo. Digging tunnels takes longer than 4 months. We invited senior UN officials to see, and during the past meetings, with you and other UN officials, we say that Hamas used their UNRWA headquarters. You chose to ignore the facts so you could later try and deny them. Fuck me. But no, Owen, let's hear some more outrage, Owen.
In the dock, which is what the actual literal story was about. And third of all, it meant Israel could prosecute its long-standing vendetta against UNRWA with renewed vigour. We'll go on to that. So what's the actual evidence for what Israel had said? Now, it is worth just...
I'll show you some more there, Owen.
أنا أقرأ اليهود إن الصهيونية هم أعدائنا وهم أهم شيء لازم يسوي فيهم عملية.
يعني how's that count?
The US Secretary of State Antony Blinken said, and I quote, "We haven't had the ability to investigate the allegations ourselves, but they are highly, highly credible." What do you even say to that? What do you even say? That's the same guy.
Okay, darling, you're the same person who believes everything Hamas says without question, right? Including, oh yeah, UNRWA teachers did rape and murder babies. They 100% did that, supported broadly by more UNRWA teachers, right? That absolutely they kidnapped people and they held them captive. That happened. I admit that happened. So what of it? They're only fucking Jews, right? They're only Jews.
Who declared that South Africa's case at the ICJ, meticulously evidenced by top lawyers, and then accepted near.
And it's an international joke. It's a legal joke that oily little anti-Semites cling on to. You piece of shit. Yeah, and again, are you a moron? Are you a piece of shit? Are you both? I don't know. But God, look, again, I hope a Messianic age is coming so I can see you be dragged down to the ninth circle of hell. Right? Yes.
Unanimously is plausible by the highest court on earth, including it should be
plausible. What the fuck does that mean? It's plausible you're not a cunt. But you are.
He said a very preeminent US judge was, and I quote, meritless. That's what he said about it. And he said Israel's allegations were highly, highly credible, even though he'd admitted that the US hasn't even seen the evidence. Last remaining superpower there, everyone. That brings me to a report by Channel 4 News.
Okay, so again, what do you have to refute this evidence? Right? What do you have to refute? You know what? Yeah, we were just looking at kids. Let's look at somebody else, right? I mean, because, you know, it's an open and shut case for you, isn't it? Here we go. Doink.
In Palestinian textbooks. This is what Palestinian kids learn in school. And I encourage you to stay to the end.
In the UN UNRWA school, right? They absolutely do. Yes, they learn this in the UN school.
For a nice plot twist. First grade, learning math by counting martyrs in each intifada. Third grade, how Jerusalem is not sacred to Jews. Fifth grade, learning how Jews are enemies of Islam in all times and places, while terrorists and Nazi supporters are glorified. The list of Palestinian heroes includes no scientists, no doctors, no engineers, they proudly say to their kids. Dying is better than living. Sixth grade, how the Palestinians...
Again, Owen, darling, Owen. How did you miss this, Mr. Journalist? Mr. Independent Journalist? How did you miss? Oh, all right. It seems like you're a bigoted anti-Semite cunt. That's what it looks like.
State goes from the river to the sea. 7th grade, let's learn about Newton's second law using a slingshot aimed at IDF soldiers. 8th grade, learning proper Arabic.
None of this is made up. By the way, he says they're actually showing you on the screen.
Using reading materials about suicide bombings and how the youth should conduct jihad. 9th grade, learning how the Hebron massacre, in which 67 Jews were tortured and killed, was a natural, legitimate resistance act, even though it was conducted 20 years before the State of Israel was formed. Also,
you know, those Arabs, they like to get ahead of things.
How killing infidels like Jews or Christians will lead you to paradise. 10th grade, learning how jihad is an obligation for every Muslim. 11th graders learn.
But sure, the idea that the Jew-hating Hamas can find any kind of home in UNRWA, that's cray-cray. Oh, yeah.
How Jews control the world using Nazi-like illustrations. And finally, 12th graders are taught that the highest point one can aspire to is dying for a religious duty. Listen, there is much more. There are hundreds of examples, but I think you got the idea. But don't listen.
Yeah, Owen, hundreds of examples. Hundreds, mate, hundreds.
Listen to me, listen to an actual student.
And one
last thing before you go. All the things I showed you were written by UNRWA employees.
Okay, UNRWA employees, right? The people who didn't know, they had a Hamas base under their main building. So tell me more, Owen. Tell me more. Send me some more of your outrage, you cunt.
In Israel's dossier. Let's just have a listen.
Children in Gaza.
Oh, yeah. I love this. He uses this bit from Channel 4 News to back up his point, which doesn't back up his point. All it does is say, look at the evil Jews hurting the poor children.
There are hungry.
By the way, when I keep hitting, we'll get to that in a second. Man. Actually, you know what? This is actually worth looking at right now. There was, with this open immigration, right? This open border immigration that's affecting most of the world. You had, like, a complete breakdown of law. So you had this New York cop beaten severely by a gang of people. One or more of them turned out to be a child. And so they keep throwing out things saying that, like, 11,000 children have been murdered by the Israelis, right? And it's like, well, firstly, that's Hamas figures. Yeah, they said 500 babies died when 0. So I don't know if that's your ratio. I don't know. But secondly, are we talking about 6-year-olds with dollies or 17-year-old with Kalashnikovs? I say that because here's the one of the people who beat the shit out of our New York cop in broad daylight, being arrested, and doesn't look like he's liking it.
Another one? I just from my report. Go ahead. You know what I mean?
And honestly, it's sad that he's had no strong parental care. Right? That his life, that he got to this point in life. His life is probably going to be like trash. Well, the children! Oh no, the children!
I got a video. Send me later. I'll send a video.
He only beat a cop near to death? What's wrong with you? You're white. It's okay. I am nearly white, so therefore everything I do is good. Yeah. Anyway, so this Channel 4 news. Oh, the Israelis.
Fear is that they're about to get hungrier. Donors to UNRWA.
We're scared that the Jews are going to hurt more children. We are.
Main UN agency that supports Palestinians.
They support mainly ones with Kalashnikovs aimed at Jews. But those ones.
Including the UK. Withdrew their funding 10 days ago because of allegations in a confidential Israeli document that this program has now seen. The document repeats an allegation the Israel Defense Force has made many...
Well, okay, so far I'm saying, unless that's redacted, you're seeing the ID numbers, right, of the people involved. That's pretty conclusive evidence. Once you put their ID number in, and like next to we found this with the body of somebody we shot, who was with the rapists and murderers of Hamas, right? We think they're with them.
Times that the Hamas terrorist organization has been methodically and deliberately in placing its terrorist infrastructure in a wide range of UN facilities and assets.
You had your main base was underneath their main office. So yeah, kind of looked like that happened.
But provides no evidence to support its explosive new claim that UNRWA staff were involved in the terror attacks on.
Well, we had one of them as a kidnapper, survivor testimony, as we said before, and again, a terror base, a cock-sucking terror base right underneath the UNRWA bloody main office, you dumb fucking cunt. I mean, there is that. I don't know. I mean, look. UNRWA, Hamas. I mean, there's no evidence.
Just stating, from intelligence information, documents and identity cards seized during the course of the fighting.
The document cards seized during the course of the fighting, that's 100%.
It is now possible to flag around 190 Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad terrorist operatives who serve as UNRWA employees. More than 10 UNRWA staffers took part in the events of the 7th of October.
So there you go. No evidence.
No evidence. It's just the Jews saying it with evidence, but no evidence. Oh, Owen Jones, mate. Literally. Again, can I find this picture of the UNRWA base? Like, it literally said, is this it? No. Oh, man. It's crazy. Right? It is crazy. Again, and, let's just bring this home a little bit more. Here, more testimony. Is that good for you, Owen? You tell me, darling. Teacher came in with a suit. Tie on. You looked respectable. He started saying that the Jews, that's never as good. When your teacher comes in and starts saying the Jews, yeah, that's not class you should be in. Are murderers. They took it, was it? I just missed out a bunch of stuff. The Jews took your grandparents' land. You must kill them and return all the land back. Whoever murders a Jew is guaranteed to go to heaven. He is as close as a god like a prophet. This is what UNRWA teaches, Owen Jones, right? This is what UNRWA teaches. Again, no evidence whatsoever. None. No evidence whatsoever. Really? I think this is, my case has been recently that anyone in the media says there's no evidence for that at all. Means there is an overwhelming preponderance of evidence, right? There's no preponderance of evidence. And Owen, I just tell you, mate, I know you don't like it. Okay, in your idiot mind, whoever is being attacked is always a virtuous victim, right? So Jews, anti-Semitism is the major form of racism in the West now because of cunts like you, Owen Jones, right? It really is. But don't think of us as victims, you piece of shit, right? But the victim is your entire society. Anyway, it's Super Sunday Day, and I end off this segment because I saw a Super Bowl ad that coming out, which I thought was incredibly powerful, right? But here, let's go check this out.
Hi, Mr. Tony. Mom, what's that?
Nothing. Just get in the car. Let's go.
Who did that?
Come on. Right now.
Is that John Delancey? I hope it's John Delancey. I like John Delancey.
Oh, get in right now. Let's go.
Did you paint it or something?
Move it. Seatbelt on right now. Put your seatbelt on.
this is a really well put together ad, right? Really well put together ad. One in 4 Jewish Americans are victims of a hate crime last year. Yeah, we just don't bitch about it like most people. I know, like when we do, you want to listen. Really powerful ad. Hate only wins if you let it. And the good news is this: that I think we live in strange times, right? We live in strange times where we have a strange alliance of people together that would never have been together before. Jews and Christians, for example, right? We are really like I empathize so strongly on so many issues with Father Miller, for example, right? And always so uplifted just by talking to him. I do like Father Miller a lot, like, but Christians, Jews and Christians. Not been the best of pals, right? Not been the best of pals. But now, it's we're backed in the same corner. I think anybody of any real moral character is backed into the same corner, right? And that's why I think it transcends everything. That transcends religion, it transcends worldview, it transcends sexuality, it transcends the ethnic culture, whatever. It transcends everything. If you're a decent moral person, you're on one side of the aisle, and if you're not, you're on the other. And I think that's one of the things that the Gaza has really shown, and soon Lebanon, right? That's going to be like, again, it's kicking off, baby. That's something that's really, really, I think, shown the character of who everybody is really quite instantly. It's been amazing. You've had a lot of people, I think, somewhere on the fence, and I think that's fair enough. I mean, you got me screaming on one side and the Arab screaming the other. I look, if you don't have any skin in the game, I don't like have any beef with you for not necessarily believing everything Israel's saying. That seems reasonable to me. I do, because look, if I was an outside, if I came to you from outside, which I am doing, saying everything the opposing side is saying is a lie, it sounds not credible whatsoever. But I just happen to know that's the case, weirdly enough. But and really everything they say is a lie. It's mind-boggling. But that's exactly what they say about us as well. But I think this has been a really incredible litmus test. And everybody says, oh, everybody exposed themselves to who they are. Yeah, both sides of the aisle are saying that. So the good thing is we have things like this, which I think this is very. I think the reason why this is such a powerful ad, and it is a very powerful ad. The reason it's so powerful is because it's very true, and the truth is that Western civilization, England, and America are both just incredibly good, decent places, like with incredibly good, decent people. I saw this. The same woman was on Talk TV and 2 different shows today, being like a BLM spokesperson, and just the most vile person you can imagine, basically claiming that the countryside is racist. And you had somebody from this like little Welsh village on say, "What are you talking about? We got like Pakistani, Indian live and work with us. They're part of our community. We love them, right? We don't care about their skin color." Right, and she just talked over him. She was just a really vile person, right? But this ad, I think, really is indicative of the inherent goodness throughout Western civilization, right? And again, I think it's a goodness that transcends every cultural barrier that you could imagine. Again, you could be Christian, Muslim, Jewish, atheist, agnostic, none of that matters, which is the real fascinating thing. This could be, and I had an idea it was a while ago. Like, we could be living through the war of Gog versus Agog, right? Which I always thought the thing about that war is that the two sides were indistinguishable. Now, why would the two sides be indistinguishable? Gog, Agog, why would they be indistinguishable? Because they're the same side. It's a civil war, right? And Yeah, that's where I think we could well be, right? We could well be. But my name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.